Welcome to Death Holler. Do you like scary movies? Welcome to Season 3, Slash or Pass. There will be laughter, tears, tender moments.
Jason. Jason. My special boy.
But most of all, screams. Remember, when you're in Death Holler, listener discretion is always advised. We hope you have a killer time.
To Death Holler. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Death, and joining me as always is my co-host, Llareyna. Ready to discuss a few more Ty West films, Llareyna?
Oh, I suppose.
One film is a loving throwback to the grimy slasher films of the late 70s and early 80s. The other is a character study for a lonely but mentally disturbed individual who dreams of stardom. That's right, everyone. After viewing the, to me anyways, wonderful slow burn that is Ty West House of the Devil in our first season, Llareyna didn't feel the same way. We have decided to discuss his two most recent films. These, of course, are X and Pearl, and form 2/3 of a trilogy with Mia Goth as the main star. When Maxine is finally released, we will release a special episode discussing that film and the trilogy as a whole.
I didn't realize there was a third in the making.
Oh, yeah. So take a seat in the old van, put your feet up on the dashboard, and join us for this trip into the twisted minds of Ty West and Mia Goth. Podcast plug. If you are enjoying the podcast, we would appreciate it if you could take the time to like, comment, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you prefer. Helps us get more visibility on podcast listings and helps us grow. Also, consider following us on social media. You can find us on TikTok and Twitter under Death Holler Pod, and we can be found on Instagram and Facebook under Death Holler Podcast. We appreciate everyone who listens and hope you enjoy the show. First up, Pearl from 2022. Tagline: an extraordinary origin story. There's a little bit of a pun in that one.
Yeah, the X Factor.
Yeah. Directed by Ty West, written by Ty West and Mia Goth. She actually had some writing responsibilities on this one. Music by Tyler Bates and Tim Williams. Made for a budget of $1 million. It made $10.1 million.
Wow.
So not too bad.
I would say the budget is impressive because that's pretty fucking small.
Yeah, it's actually this. We'll get into it when we discover X.
Yeah.
It's the same exact budget they had for X. So they
wow.
made both
and the
like
production value, I would say, is definitely there. So I don't know. That's wild. Okay.
Principal players: we have Mia Goth playing Pearl, who is the daydreamer and psychopath of the film. She's been in tons of things. Emma with, I want to say, the star that was in The Vivitch. Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah. Infinity Pool, which is a recent film with her. Very weird movie, but it's made by Cronenberg's son, who's actually, just as into the weird body horror, apparently just like old dad. So it's got a bit of that in it. She was in Suspiria, the 2018 remake, High Life, A Cure for Wellness, and a movie called Marrowbone.
Have you seen any of those, babe?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Cure for Wellness. That one's pretty good.
Wasn't she in some movie called Nympho or something like that?
Maybe. I didn't focus on a ton of her stuff.
Yeah, Nympho. I think she was. I think it's a nymphomaniac. I'm not sure. It's where she met her husband, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I was getting ready. I didn't know if you knew that, but it's just odd that, I saw that information about the two of them together. They have kids together, and I'm like.
And they had a very violent relationship before they got married and had kids too. So that's
I'm sure because he was in a bad place for a long time. So he's only recently started to come out of that, if he has. Alistair Sewell plays Howard in a short little scene at the end of the movie, at least.
Yeah.
Who is Pearl's husband, who's off in the trenches fighting in World War I in this movie. He was in a movie called Bad Behavior and the Power of the Dog. He's not been in a ton of stuff. Tandy Wright plays Ruth, who's Pearl's long-suffering mother. She was in the Returned TV series. Very creepy TV series, by the way. It's kind of like a zombie type story, but it's almost like Ghost or something too. Like the dead loved ones start coming back to town, but like they don't have memories of have being dead at all, and like they're and then like slowly it gets creepier and creepier throughout the series. Kind of weird.
Okay.
Have you seen that TV show, the one where they found like a cure for zombies? It doesn't cure them, but it makes them regain consciousness, and they got to be on a strict medication.
I think I know what you're talking about. There's one that's it's got like a soldier who's returned back from like Iraq or something like that.
That's the one.
Okay. Yeah, and they're like treated like second class citizens because they obviously were zombies at one point in time.
Yeah, well, they still are. I want to say it's a Euro movie. Something like, I don't know if that's out of the UK. I forgot what it is, but yeah, that's actually a pretty decent TV show. I'm trying to think. I thought it was something similar to that.
It might be. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. The one that I'm thinking of was a French TV show first, and then they brought it to America, and they changed the name of it. But it's the first scene of the show that I'm talking about, it's like just really creepy. Like everybody's sitting there, and at night, all of a sudden, like these people just start walking like out of like nowhere, and they start coming home, and it's like like they show this little old lady knocking on the door, and somebody answers, and it's like, Grandma, you're dead, and like she's wanting let in the house. It's kind of creepy, but
No, the one I'm thinking about is something different. So basically, there's a zombie outbreak all through Europe, and they fight them, and they get control over it. Then they build like a medication they got to take, and it makes them not crazy. But then all the zombies start to kind of, since they have consciousness, they figure out how to re-engineer another type of serum they take, and it makes them go full ballistic. And they start getting everybody who's supposed to be on the medication to take that stuff and have full breakouts. It's a pretty good zombie show.
So the funny thing is, I just Googled it. The Returned TV show is exactly what I'm talking about. The Returned movie is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
That's hella funny.
They're both under the same name.
Okay. So it was a movie. It wasn't a TV show. For some reason, I was thinking the one I was thinking of was a TV, but maybe I'm wrong then.
Yeah, it was a TV, or it was a movie, and then they might have based it on a television show that was previous or something, but and under a different name. But yeah, it was under that as far as movie title. Let's see. Tandy Wright was also in Love and Monsters, which I know me and Llareyna really like. So
yeah, husband liked that one, I think, right?
I'm trying to remember what that was.
It's the one where it was not a zombie outbreak, but like a monster outbreak or something.
Kaiju is kind of what they are. They're like large, like they're like everything grew, like bugs grew, like to exorbitant size or something, and like they're all over the place now.
Yeah, and he survived like with his dog, and then he was trying to be in love with that girl, but that wasn't working out.
That was good right into the end.
And then a movie called Nothing Trivial. We have David Corenswet playing the projectionist, who is a Bohemian War vet and porn enthusiast.
David Corenswet?
Yeah, he's going to be the new Superman for James Gunn.
Looks like it. Not in this movie, but I looked up pictures of him because I'm like, this guy makes a really good like 1920s type character. Has he played others? No, he hasn't, but he sure as fuck like his dressed up as Superman, and I'm like, holy fuck, he looks like a Superman.
he looks like a slightly younger version of Henry Cavill.
Oh,
which
yeah.
has made a lot of people upset. They're like, why, when you had Henry Cavill, James Gunn, why didn't you just keep him? Why did you have to get like the dollar store brand version of him? But whatever.
Is Henry Cavill upset about it? I thought he was with it.
Being kicked out, he's been gracious about it.
Okay.
They jacked him around on that. They told him at first that whenever he starred in in the last few minutes of Black Adam with The Rock, they were told they were going to bring him back. He was going to have a big role again. And then right after that movie literally premiered, James Gunn came in, him and Peter Safran, and they were both like, yeah, we're rebooting all of DC, and Henry Cavill's out. Like, he's the only one that he said was out.
That's weird. Which is funny because, Henry Cavill, I very graciously, but he's aging. He's got a gray beard. He's got a lot of salt and pepper hair, and I know you can die over that shit, and he doesn't need a beard to be in Superman. But his beard also hides. He's getting wrinkles. He's getting older. They all are getting older.
I think he's doing fine after The Witcher.
I think he's perfect. And I think he was tired of The Witcher. Like, I think he's happy about The Witcher.
Oh, that sucks because I like that TV show.
He was happy about The Witcher because he's a big fan of The Witcher. He's like a geek for the actual source material, and he knew they were fucking it up.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm out.
Before it gets, I don't blame him. I'm not saying like he's ugly or old, but it happens. You get older, and I think they just wanted to go a different route. And this kid is definitely going to feel it. That's for sure.
That's what they said, and this guy does look like a younger version of him. So if they're trying to scooch back the age a little bit, this is the next best guy, I guess.
Welcome to How It Feels, Henry Cavill, for all the women that have had to been replaced by younger women.
He's not one of those guys though that you're thinking of. Leonardo DiCaprio. He's got like a rule: if they're over 23, he won't he drops them.
It's 25. Don't be disrespectful. He's got some class.
How old is Leonardo DiCaprio now?
Almost 50.
Technically, he should be eligible for two 25-year-olds.
He probably thinks he should be. David Cornsweet has only really been in Look Both Ways. Like, I mean, he's been in this, like a couple other things. I guess that's good for him going into James Gunn's new Superman movie because that gives him like a way to break out and, be bigger.
With what he was showing, the projectionist, what he was showing her, I thought he was going to be like her husband in X. Plot twist. That's not what happened.
He just wanted to show her titties. Look how amazing these things are.
And Bush.
Yeah, they're doing this new thing in over in Europe. I think you might like it.
I called it right away. I was like, oh, they're going to watch porn.
And that's a really nice tie, I think, between the two movies too. Yeah. It's like it kind of hints at what's going on in X, but
yeah.
Matthew Sunderland plays the father, who's an invalid that's seen some shit.
My God.
It's a nice payday when you can sit in a chair and not do anything and get paid for it.
Just watch Mia Goth take baths as your daughter. Fucking weird. Also, what was wrong with him? What made him that way?
They hinted, and I don't know if this is an actual thing. I've not really researched it. They hinted that he was having it was like a side effect from having caught the flu.
Okay. And the Spanish flu was out at this point, so.
Yeah, and that's the backdrop of the movie. So that's why her mom was so, freaked out about like her bringing it in, because I guess he'd already suffered like these, how they say long COVID now. Well, he had long flu or whatever you want to call it. Like he was barely, a person at that point. He's been in the movie The Nightingale and The Devil's Rock. And then we have Emma Jenkins Pirro playing Mitzi, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed sister-in-law. And I didn't really see it. She'd been in a whole lot, but I guess if you're blonde-haired and blue-eyed, then the world's ready to just hand you whatever you want. That's the point of this movie, at least.
Yeah.
There is going to be rut row warnings for both this and X, just so everybody knows. I mean, they're mainly farm animals if people care about that sort of thing, but there are animals getting killed in both movies, or at least the remains of them.
Look she had to impale that goose to feed her pet alligator, and I am here for it. The alligators have to eat too. They are animals, and they deserve to be treated good. And who doesn't want a fucking alligator for a fucking pet?
Old Theta that she has out in the swamp
Yeah.
next to her house.
Which is, by the way, a certified good girl.
I've gave her props in both movies, just so you know.
Okay, good.
Synopsis. Pearl spends her days on the farm daydreaming about making it big in the movies.
Don't
What
we
time
all?
she isn't mutilating animals out of boredom, anyways. The only child of German immigrant farmers in 1918, she suffers in isolation as her husband is off fighting in the trenches of World War One. As tensions rise between Pearl and her mother, Pearl becomes more and more desperate to escape and become the starlet she knows she was always meant to be. Alligators get fed, bohemians get pitchforked, and a perfect sister-in-law gets the axe. What would you do to achieve your dreams? Body count is a modest 5 in this movie.
They were good kills, though.
Yeah, I mean, when you have less kills, sometimes there's more, they can more punch to them, you know. We have Mr. Goose, who's killed at the beginning of the movie, stabbed through the pitchfork and then fed to Theta, the alligator.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ruth, who's burned in a fire and then kicked down some steps. The projectionist is stabbed in the chest and mouth with his pitchfork, and then his body was disposed of in a very psycho-esque way in the swamp.
Yeah,
Pearl's...
I was going to say, she phoned that one in. But done. Halfway in the water, it's called a day.
Yep.
Just leave it sitting in there. But that's also a call back to Psycho, because like the car only like half start, and then for a second it looks like it's not going to go under. Norman's freaking out, and then it finally goes. And then Pearl's father is smothered to death by Pearl with a pillowcase,
which was the weakest of the kills, and it was off screen. What the fuck?
Yeah, but there was a reason it was off screen, because it was like, I think it was Ty West saying that was the one she cared the most about and didn't really want to do. So it was like, maybe her disassociating from that kill as opposed to the others that she was totally there for.
Okay.
And then Mitzi is stabbed in the back and dismembered by Pearl with an axe. She is chopped several times as she's running away.
Yeah.
That's like the only slasher moment in the movie is with the axe.
It
like
was,
the rest of them,
and she was and Pearl was moving at a Jason Voorhees pace. It was like one Voorhees per second. Like, I don't understand that.
I was watching that too, and I was like, I guess Mitzi could be running a little bit faster, but it's how these movies are set up.
She wanted to die.
Quotes for this movie: Pearl imagining the projectionist face on a scarecrow's body. I'm married.
That was funny.
Pearl yelling in distress after being rejected. No, I'm a star. Please, I'm a star. Please, somebody help me. Help me.
Which is funny. They turned that into a TikTok. I don't know if you've seen. Yeah, like screaming that I'm a star. There's multiple fucking TikToks of that shit.
Mitzi, please, no, I won't tell anyone. Please, I swear. No, please, I'll do anything you want. Pearl, it's not about what I want anymore, Mitzi. It's about making the best of what I have. Which is a good line because it goes back to what Pearl's mother told her in that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Pearl swinging the axe down onto a screaming Mitzi, right after that scene. We have Ruth saying, I won't suffer for you any longer. If you want to leave, go. But if you fail, and you will fail, I want you to remember what it feels like, because that's how I feel every time I look at you. Nearly everything that I had was taken from me, Pearl. What more do you want? That's a hell of a thing to be told by your parent, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily untrue, because like I wasn't trying. The mom was a dick, but then I was thinking, fuck, this mom has been through some fucking shit. They're in a country no one fucking likes them right now, so they're lucky that people aren't coming with the fucking torches and pitchforks to their fucking farm. Her husband is, like she said, I was supposed to be his wife, not his mother. Her husband is the only person she probably could talk to. Cannot be talked to now. And clearly she sees something in her daughter, which she says, and there's not a lot she can do about it. She's trying to keep it under control, but, we know how that turns out.
Yeah, she's seen her doing those things in the farm, and she's like, "There's something wrong with you, Pearl." Like, I mean, that's the one thing with her husband not there to communicate with. She has nobody to. I mean, it's like she can't trust Pearl because she clearly thinks Pearl's a bad seed, which she is.
Yeah.
You know? Pearl imagining she's speaking to Howard, and this is a long thing, but I cut out like the portion that made the most punch. I never wanted you to feel jealous. It's an awful feeling, like a rot, the way it just twists and turns at your insides. I know that aching so well. I feel it whenever I see others whose lives come easy, because the truth is I'm not really a good person. That monologue between Ruth and the monologue before she gets burned, and the monologue that Mia Goth gives at the end of this film are what make this movie for me. Like, I mean, because they give a lot about those characters and like how they actually, see the world, feel about things, and all that. And in particular, whenever she's talking, about, to Howard, when she's actually talking to Mitzi in front of her, and she's just imagining it's Howard. It gives you a lot. It feeds into X, obviously, but it gives you a lot of, background for why she's the way she is in X, because she's jealous of others, like, and they've got a better life than she does. And her own tendencies toward, being a serial killer doesn't help the situation at all. And then, obviously at the end, because it's so weird, is whenever Howard comes in, sets down his bags. He's just got off, the bus or the truck with the rest of the, war vets that came home with, and comes in, just sees the most insane carnage ever, turns around, and she's just like, Howard, I'm so happy you're home. And then has that smile that, which isn't a trivia, but like she actually had to hold that forever. And Ty West would never call like cut because he planned on having her hold that through the whole entire credits.
Oh my God.
So when she's actually crying at one point, it's because her face was hurting.
Yeah.
All right. Visually, this movie, the colors in this movie really pop, and they do it for a reason. But like they tried to go back to the old Technicolor look that the old, like, movies of, I guess, like the 40s and 50s had whenever they started putting color into things, and like really amped it up to make it look like special,
Yeah, it didn't look like a $1 million budget.
I actually like the recreation of the town and stuff too. It looked like the time period to me. They did a good job of, faking that,
Yeah.
especially considering this came after X. So they used the same property for Pearl's house. And it's in the trivia, but they actually painted the house up and to make it look, and fixed it up to make it look new. After they, did all the filming that they did previously. So, I mean, they did a really good job of scaling it back and making it feel, even like the swamp looked like it was newer, fresher. I mean, I don't know what they did there, but like, I mean, the little swamp area looked like it was, I mean, the trees were prettier. It wasn't as overgrown, they did a lot with what they had.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that until now. What do you think, babe?
I think the mom did all the work. This tells you like how much effort her mom was putting in.
How hardworking Germans were.
It just
To keep the place from looking like a shithole, you mean?
Yeah.
Do you think she had a few Jewish people on her payroll?
You gotta remember it was World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hadn't got to that point yet.
They were getting there though.
The cornfield was a pretty nice scene too. It had a very distinct look. I liked how they made the scarecrow look. Gave me very much Wizard of Oz vibes, which I think that's what they were going for.
Well, especially with the bike, and I have to agree with you on that.
I just want to know how they got the thing that looks so human.
The scarecrow?
Yeah.
That was CGI. I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm joking.
like, for that era, how'd they get the face to look like that?
I don't know. People were creative, maybe. That person clearly on that farm cared about what his scarecrow looked like, and that hussy climbed on top of that thing.
Which doesn't make any sense. If you're rural farmers, the last thing you're going to do is make sure the face looks realistic like that.
Yeah. I don't know. We're also seeing it through the eyes of Mia Goth. Is that what it like really looked like? Or I mean, because it changes.
Don't know.
That is true. I mean, we have an unreliable narrator, as they say. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I mean, if we're seeing everything from her point of view, she just might be psycho enough to see it as that.
I was hoping that Scarecrow would look like Harold from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Looked like it was a real body that was sacked and put up there.
I don't know. To me, they did a good job of making it seem like the kind of Scarecrow that would have originally been in The Wizard of Oz. I mean, and that's what I think they were going for with the look of it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I tried to see, like, as I was going through the movie the second time, just to see if there was any like correlation to The Wizard of Oz otherwise. I mean, there's the bike, obviously, which is the Wicked Witch's analog in the real world. Like, that's what she rode. But like, other than the Scarecrow, there wasn't like a Cowardly Lion type character that I'm aware of. There wasn't a dog. The rest of they didn't like add anything more to it. It was mainly just that. Like, I didn't really see anything else. She had the axe that the Tin Man had, so I guess there's that. But that's it.
Yeah.
And well, I guess we should just get in the story portion of it because this kind of fits. I was going to say, seeing all the people walking around with the mask on.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a good correlation between 1918 and 2020, which is around the time this was being filmed, I think. But to me, there's a big difference in like, the two, obviously politically and all that. But like it was just weird seeing that. Like it hit in a weird way. Like that, I guess it wouldn't have if we hadn't went through that shit. So I don't know.
Well, but you got to remember back then they didn't have the modern medicine we have now.
They had morphine because that's what her dad got.
Yeah, so, that's it.
I mean,
which she's fucking taking in the theater, watching the fucking Can Girls.
Yeah, just drinking a little bit of it casually.
I don't know that was a little bit. She took a big old swig. I was like, is she drinking that and then like adding water to it to like make it so her dad, like when she comes home with a full bottle, her mom doesn't notice what's going on, which clearly she didn't,
And the fact that stuff wasn't diluted at all means that she's been hitting that for a while because she had to build up a tolerance.
Yes.
She's been fucked up over what she just drunk.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It was interesting to see the parallels between the two time periods, and then the mother being like so concerned about bringing it inside the house, and how that correlated with things in 2020. So I mean, there was some interesting stuff when it comes to that story wise.
So many references too, because like if you think about it, and even not so much politically, but how the views were, like clearly Pearl didn't care. Like some people didn't care about how COVID was. They're like, okay, I don't want to wear a mask. And then you got the mom that is freaking out. You have the people that were affected by it, and clearly the people that are not being affected by it. But the funny thing was when Pearl was when the projectionist was driving Pearl back to her house, and she sees the guy walking along the street, and she doesn't know if it's her husband or not because he's wearing a mask. And he says, "Do you recognize him?" And she said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, it's hard to tell with all these masks nowadays." And I'm like, that was definitely a thing during COVID.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on in the movie, and and even like in the movie theater, there was like, it was sparse because probably the time of day, but just seeing the people in there and how like cleared out it was, that even mimicked how it was like early COVID, where they shut the theaters down.
Pretty wild. And this film's from 2022. When were they filming it?
Maybe 2021.
Yeah.
So
it was still definitely a thing.
Yeah, it was still before they decided like, okay, well, I guess we'll let you go back to your lives. Maybe,
Maybe, yeah.
It was also interesting seeing her walk in the theater and just, randomly catch like the middle of something. Because we mentioned this earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Psycho was the movie that changed all that. Like it used to be whenever you went to a movie theater, you just paid the money, walked in there and saw whatever was showing on the screen at the time. Like, there wasn't any set times, but Psycho and Hitchcock in particular was like, no, this movie to get the full punch has to be shown. The person has to see it from beginning to end. So you're going to have a definite time and they can't get in until the movie starts.
Yeah.
So
no leaving in the middle of it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because they would just play like cartoons and like war reels and stuff like that all day long, and you just walked in there, watched it for however long you were going to watch it, and then walk back out like it wasn't a thing.
That's wild.
One thing I noticed in the movie, and I don't know what you all thought about this, I was trying to figure out the symbolism of the pig, because the family brings the pig over, and it's like, and they're trying to be nice, or that actually was a very nice gesture. You think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, at a time period when things were probably like now, very, slim pickings, they slaughtered their own pigs, brought them to family and friends, and like for them to eat. And because of the fear of the disease, Spanish flu, her mother leaves it outside. But it seems like, to me, the pig represented Pearl's own, I don't know, wouldn't say psyche, but, or, like her being crazy, but like her dreams, because she's all bright eyed thinking she's going to have the world. And then as slowly as she starts realizing more and more that she's not going to get any of the things she wanted, that pig gets more rotten as it goes along.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the symbolism, but that's what I noticed in the movie.
I think it was more of a symbolism, the fact that mom was the one doing everything. I don't think she was even pulling her weight around the farm or anything. Her mom was the one carrying all the brunt.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that the pig was there for a couple days and she would walk by it consistently is so she was complaining about her life being bad. At the same time, she wasn't the one pulling the weight around the house by any metric.
It's funny because I took it as a symbolism of what was happening on the farm, and I guess that could be in direct correlation to, Pearl herself. But it's like, okay, things are falling apart for literally everyone on that farm. Pearl's.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, it's like her family literally falls apart. I mean, it's because of her, and I don't disagree with Noah at all. She's not pulling her weight. She's not really helping, but at the same time, it's it's everything's just kind of falling apart around Pearl, and that, that pig, he makes a point of showing the pig every time something worse happens. It's like, okay, now it's got maggots on it. Now half of it is missing because something ate on it overnight. It's, and at the end, when she's full blown crazy, full blown, there's no helping her, she has no hope of getting into the movies now, or at least, that's been dashed. She brings the pig in, slaps it on the table, and it's like she's accepting her shitty, rotten life at that point.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it amounts to.
Definitely. And yeah, it's funny because just like what Noah said, though, whether it's anything that's going on with the farm, that pig, no one's doing anything about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, it's sitting there. They're not even the Bohemian guy, when he walks up, he's taking a look at it like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, he's all weirded out by it.
Why is nobody doing anything about this?
It's funny because when Mitzi walks up, she's like, "Is that our pig?" That you said it was a real nice gesture. Mitzi and them, they come from good money, so it was nothing.
Yes.
Probably nothing to them. But to the rest of us, that'd be like, wow, a whole ass pig, And then she's probably thinking, what the fuck? We gave you this nice ass pig, you just fucking left it out here.
Even if they come from money, that's still,
yeah.
You go back to, I know it's a lot way far back, but you go back to biblical times. To give your livestock to someone, God or whoever, that's a big commitment because you put a lot of money and effort into, making sure those things were raised. So, it's like, that was a huge gesture, and Ruth can say what she wants to about Pearl is, or about how they're hated because of their, German lineage and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth didn't go out of her way to be to be nice to, or, to her extended, in-laws or either in that scene. She could have accepted the pig graciously. She's just like, leave it there. I don't want it inside my house. So that's,
yeah.
She was bringing on a bit of that herself by cutting them off that way.
Well, I got a question for both of you because that kind of brings up was it explained? I don't feel like I got a full explanation, and I know Pearl went on that huge monologue, but how did Howard and Pearl end up getting married? There was I wasn't understanding how she has a perception of how they got married, but what happened? Like, did he actually like see her love her and propose, or was there some kind of negotiation?
I think she was just looking for opportunity. He was looking for a woman.
Okay.
That's
There's a lot of that, but I mean, I think you've got to also look at Howard from X to get the full picture. He's talking, I don't remember who it is now. I think it's directly to her now that I remember it. It's the scene where they're on the bed.
Yeah.
Maxine, I mean, we're just getting a little head in X, but they're kind of tied together. Him and Pearl sitting on the bed. Maxine's under the bed, and she's like, "Don't you want me anymore?" And he's like, "I've always thought you were the prettiest woman in the world." So he loved her from the moment he saw her. Like, I mean, or at least that was the way he implies it in X. And, he came from money, so he wasn't like her always searching for a dream. He just wanted stability in his life.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he saw, this pretty woman, her family had a nice farm, they could live a decent life there. They didn't have to go out and that's not what she wanted, but that's what he wanted,
Okay. And I did catch that, but I wasn't 100%. I also was wondering in the background what maybe his family thought of Pearl and her family. But guys, we don't really get into that. But obviously they were nice. They were trying to spread some of the wealth,
Yeah. I mean, you get a little hint from Mitzi that, like, they don't look, I mean, they don't exactly consider Pearl and her family equals, but they don't like come right out and do anything out of their way to like push them away or anything like that. It's like Howard decided to do this. We love Howard, so by extension, your family. That's kind of what I got from the movie, at least. Okay. I'm trying to think of anything else from the story. The Bohemian guy, of course, they tied that into X. I mean, the porn part of it. They mentioned at the end, the other little connection is you've got we're looking for someone with X factor. That's what they tell Pearl. There's the X on the stage that she has to stand on whenever she's giving, her dance routine. There's just, I mean, it's interesting when you watch X because she mentions that she was a dancer for a few years before her and Howard got married. They don't really delve into that in Pearl a little bit. I mean, she's got her dance routine, but like, there's no hint that before she was trapped, it's assumed that her father had just recently, got this way because she's had to stay on the farm to help her mother, or at least that's the way it's set up. But you really get no hint that Pearl was like had any real chances at being a dancer other than in her mind. Yeah. So I don't know if that in X, when she says that, if that's more make believe and it was only in her mind that she was a dancer, but that's the only disconnect I see between the two of them, if there is one.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought she was just kind of delusional. She was delulu, as the kids like to say. And I was like, I don't even see her mom allowing her to be in any kind of dance class, to be honest.
Well, the way that she explains it in X, and that's not how it is in Pearl, she was separate. She was away from her family for a few years when her and Howard first got married. And then they came back to the farm right around the time, or she went back to the farm right around the time that he went to World War I. Yeah. And her dad, and I guess her dad was going, had just gotten sick or whatever. Okay. So, I guess that time away, she, that's whenever she got the big dreams that she had. But like, you don't really get that from Pearl. I mean, the movie Pearl, because she's just already in it. She's there and feels stuck and that sort of thing. Yeah,
she probably got to live a little bit more with Howard versus on the farm. She probably got to go out to see the fucking moving pictures and shit like that.
And what do you think about like her cheating on Howard with the Bohemian guy, projectionist? Is it because you think that Pearl was trying to use him as a stepping stone to her dreams, or because she thought Howard was gone because she hadn't heard from him, that he had maybe died in the war, or do you think any of that matters?
I think it was a little bit of everything. She was bored on a farm. She's got this fucking wild ass imagination. somebody's telling her all the things she wants to hear. She hasn't heard from her husband in fucking weeks or months at this point. She doesn't even know if he's alive, which her sister-in-law makes a good point to say, hey, at this point, no news is good news, because they would have found out if he was dead.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
yeah.
they're trying to make the best of it. They're trying to be like, okay, you know, hey, we haven't heard that he's dead. So there's that, because people were getting telegrams by the fucking minute that loved ones were dead, you know?
I don't know. I think she was 100% monkey branching. She was looking for the opportunity to get out of that city.
I agree too. It was a little bit of everything. She wanted out. She had all kinds of fucking motives for this.
Well, that was the whole reason she was with Howard. It was
To
an
get out,
to
yeah.
get out, and then he bailed, and then she was just looking for the next opportunity to get out. And every opportunity she grabbed failed, from the guy to the dancing.
Yeah.
That's true, because she even mentions that in her monologue. She's like, you were supposed to be my way out of here. She mentions that, speaking to Howard in quotation marks.
Yeah.
You know? So, and there's even that line from Mitzi that Howard could have stayed back and not actually went to war, because they had a doctor all willing to say that he was, you know, incapable of going to war. But like he refused to do that. And I don't know what that says about Howard, because like that shows that like he's very, you know, honorable in his own way, but then like he comes back, he sees what Pearl's done and he stays with her. I don't know. That's a very twisted version of honor. I mean, at that point.
Well, do you think
like,
he wanted to go to war so he could kill?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't get that from him at all. Like, I feel like he fell into that because if you go to X, I feel like Howard fell into killing because that's what Pearl did, and he was in whatever it took to keep her happy. You know,
well, we really don't know much about Howard prior.
You know that video of hot to crazy ratio?
Yeah.
The problem is her craziness outpaced her hotness, and he never seen that video.
Well, there weren't
true.
a lot of videos back then, and I don't think YouTube existed.
I'm just saying, though, on the scaling chart, her hotness was outpacing the craziness, or craziness was outpacing the hotness. But that's what it is. It's like
maybe the craziness made her hotter
maybe
to
she
him.
was a good lay and sunk him in. And he's like, hell yeah. And then he got propagandized that war is amazing. We should go fight for another country. But that's how that works.
She was a freak in the sheets, because I mean she was in all kinds of stuff, at least according to X. So there you go. I mean,
but the propaganda thing's hardcore, because what's the first thing she sees when she goes into the movie theater? A propaganda piece.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of shit they played all the time, though. Yeah, but
that's
it
what I'm
was really
saying.
heavy.
Like you were talking about too, you can just go in the theater and you can just watch whatever you want to watch. So if all you're making is propaganda pieces, how easy is it to convince a population to do it? So he gets suckered into doing it, and she's like, "Oh my God, I lost all my hope to get out of here."
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's gotta suck, because even like when there's money available, like Mitzi, obviously she's like, Mitzi, you get everything you want. Mitzi probably didn't have to work a fucking day in her life. She just had to sit, be pretty.
That's why she couldn't outrun her.
That is true.
Yeah,
Fucking Mitzi,
homegirl was riding
useless.
a bike into town all the time.
Yeah.
And working on the farm when her mom really put it on her. Mitzi was just chilling.
Yes. But Mitzi probably got to experience a lot more things. So the chance of Mitzi being bored versus Pearl is a lot slim. Boredom, and it's funny because boredom leads you to discover things and use your imagination. Pearl, unfortunately, used it in the wrong way, but it also probably caused Pearl to discover sexual liberty. You're bored. She probably learned how to fucking pleasure herself, everything.
It never came through in the movie.
Well, she learned.
Really?
How to
She
pleasure herself
masturbated
that
on a fucking scarecrow.
She grinded a cooter on a scarecrow. That's not technically her playing with herself. That's kind of like...
It's using her imagination to get her fucking sexual juices flowing, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think after meeting the Bohemian dude, it ramped it up for her.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially seeing that porn movie with him, you know, and
Hell
all
yeah.
that. Speaking of the movies, you're right. I didn't think about this. Maybe Pearl was indirectly responsible for, you know, Howard going to war anyways, because if she was dragging him to the movies, then that's where he saw the propaganda film so much.
And then, I mean, I'm pretty sure the propaganda, I'm pretty sure I mean, I don't know how the pay was back then. In terms, I don't know if they paid them well well, I guess there was some kind of pension and definitely benefits for the spouses. He probably thought this was going to be good for the family.
Howard?
Howard, yeah.
No, I bet he was just doing his patriotic duty.
Possibly.
That's 100% what I think he was doing. He came from money. He had that farm to look forward to whenever, like by marrying Pearl, like he was going to get all that stuff, in the mix.
I think that it's a possibility that the family wasn't going to like shell a lot of money for him though. Like, this is what you want, that's fine, but you have to work.
No, but it's easy to convince a young guy to go to war. Fill their head full of nonsense that it's going to be like something out of a movie, and that's not what it is.
Well, I stand by. I think Howard had a little bit of crazy in him too. It worked.
I bet you after the war you did.
Oh yeah, especially after war.
You're on the shell shock, man.
He's seen some shit. He came home. He saw that. He's a little shocked to see that Pearl's going through it, but he's also been through it. And he's like, oh, okay, she's going through the same shit I was going through. She's been fighting battles. She's seen some shit.
And not that, but she's fucking him good. Like,
oh yeah,
he's got a bunch of misconfusion swirling around his head.
And he's probably happy he don't have to wait for them fucking parents to die now.
There is that,
Yeah, he became an immediate property owner when he came back from the war.
Yep. Good job, Pearl. You did it, babe.
I knew we would own land one day.
Without my parents' help.
There wasn't a lot of actors in this movie, but what do you think the acting in it? I think the woman who played Pearl's mom and Mia Goth herself are both like pretty stand out in the movie as far as their acting. They have to be because they have to carry the movie, but
I think the mom was really good because she really gave off that, bitchy vibe, but then at the same time I felt for her. She
gave off that Eastern Bloc European woman vibe.
Yeah. Big time. I wonder is she actually fucking German? Or is she just playing a role? Wow.
That's in the trivia. She had to learn how to speak with a German accent like 2 or 3 weeks before the movie started or something.
Fucking legit. She reminded me, there's a movie, it's funny, called Like Water for Chocolate. I don't know if you heard of it. It's not definitely not
There's a ton of naked girls in that movie. There is. Riding horses.
There is one naked woman riding one horse.
And she does it a couple times.
Oh, my God. Anyways.
Buck naked.
And the mom kind of, the Mexican mom looks just like this German woman, only the Mexican mom in Like Water for Chocolate has blonde hair. Because, again, they make us in those colors. She looks like a complete white woman, but she's speaking Spanish the entire time. No, there's no English in that film, so...
I've not seen the movie, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah.
Think of like a churched up version of the Emmanuel series.
Okay, I got you.
My wife doesn't get that reference. It went right over her head.
That's okay. I can Google. We'll talk later.
Red Shoe Diaries. Showtime used to be like the softcore
Red Shoe
porn.
Diaries. I remember that.
Yeah, Showtime was all about when you were a young kid. It's like, you're still in cable and we get this? Hell yeah.
Oh, my God.
That before Skinamax really caught on. And
yes,
the
that was like way back. That was like late 80s.
So that's impressive that she was able to, pull that off.
Yeah, it was really impressive. I mean, not to take anything away from the dad because, he had to do all his acting by just basically movements or not even movements, like just facial, looks. And
you know what? Okay, run with me for a second on this. What if you were a method actor, okay? Your whole idea is being that character and getting into the role of a character. What happens if you land a character like that? Do you really shit your pants to get the experience and understand what the pain is like?
I would.
If you're
Make
Jared
me a goth,
Leto,
change your diaper. Oh, God.
What if you're a method actor? You should really do it on set. You got to sell the role. Because if he really shit his pants, what do you think everybody else around him? They're going to sell that role too. Disappear disgust.
That's gross.
I can see some method actors doing that,
especially in that movie.
And then they talk about it. They're all proud of it. They're like, I shit myself.
Out of any movie that you would be a method actor to that extreme, guess what? That seems like the movie that it would be acceptable on that set.
I think the other actors and actresses would still hate your guts, like they do both method actors.
But
they really
think about who she's married to, and how much of a method actor he is.
Just do it.
Okay, so if we understand that wouldn't be out of it, I'm pretty sure Shia LaBeouf would go to that extreme.
Oh yeah, he would.
Especially if he was directing and producing the movie.
Yeah, he probably would. I don't know if Ty West would be cool with that though. He'd probably be like, "Get the fuck off my set."
I don't know, man. You might be able. Think about it. If you're the actor that has to interact with that person in that state, it really sells the role even more because oh my God, I got to clean this shit up again.
And then make me a goth clean it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
At that point, you're not even acting; it's just reality.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean,
Like, man, she really sold that. Okay, so my standout actor was the projectionist.
He was awesome. Yeah,
He sold that fucking time so well.
I thought he was
He
going to
did,
be.
yeah.
I thought he was going to be the one that flipped her into turning a psycho.
That's what I did.
Because she floated the idea of killing her parents, and he's on this weird limbo. You can't tell if he's on board or not on board with it.
And then the way he flips his personality too, from
Yeah, because the crazy hot index went off the
Yeah.
charts. Like the craziness just overshot the hotness.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta go, bitch.
I
Yeah.
thought he stole the show. They had to get rid of him. She had to kill him because he was gonna steal that whole film.
There was that one moment where, like, which I've got as the dumbest moment for her, at least, where he's like, so what about your dog? You know, what's your name of your dog? And she's like, oh, we don't have a dog. After she just said
Yeah.
that's what was making the sound in the basement. And he's just like, that's whenever it flips for him. He's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's good meeting you. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
You know what's funny is that most women, well, she was already fucking going off the rocker, but like most women wouldn't just jump into that crazy that quick. She was gonna kill him because it was already too late. She had already gone off the
She
deep
was
end.
trying to fuck him upstairs with her disabled dad down there, and her mom. It's locked up in the basement.
You gotta get it in where you can fit it in.
I know, but that kind of shows you how
He doesn't know
far-
that. He just knows the dad.
He notices a lot of red flags, and none
Yeah.
of it's making sense. And especially because you got to look to it. She made the comment about killing her parents.
Yeah.
So that's probably in the back of his head to a degree. And then he shows up and he sees
And
the,
he didn't.
the
She didn't make the
pig.
comment because she's like, if they would just die or something like that. It wasn't. I'm gonna kill them or I want to
It
kill
was
them.
enough where it,
Yeah.
it raised his ire. Like,
Definitely.
okay, so then you show up to the property and there's a rotting pig, and you go and you meet her catatonic dad after she went in the house and kind of tried to hide up whatever, and then there's food on the ground. and she's
Listen,
like, it's the dog.
Do you want to live
There's
on a farm or do you want to live in a
so
projection
many-
fucking office?
Yeah, but he's a nomad, so he doesn't really give a shit where he sets up shop.
He can stay there for a while. He just got to deal with a little bit of crazy.
Okay, that was a lot of crazy. The pig, the stuff with the dad, the food uneaten, and then she takes him upstairs to try to bang him. It's like your disabled dad's downstairs. What are we talking about?
What's he gonna do? It's not like she's trying to bang in front of
This
him.
is in the 1912s. Use perspective of how people operated. So to him, that was probably way off the fucking rails.
Maybe.
No, there ain't no maybe to that. Look at the dude ran a projector. Look how he was dressed.
He showed her a film that was illegal, real illegal.
It was art, you son of a
It was
bitch.
art. Well, that pig on the porch was art. It's a
But I'm saying,
representation
though,
of that life.
Look how people conducted themselves in the movie. Everybody, doesn't matter what you were doing, was dressed nicely. So he goes to her house.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks really sketchy. People
Even
like,
as a nomad, too.
people like this don't conduct themselves in the 1912s.
Yeah. He couldn't handle that.
I'm just saying there's a lot of evidence.
Howard could handle it.
Yeah, he's shell-shocked, and the pussy was good.
Well, clearly was good enough for him, not good enough for the projectionist.
See, Howard wasn't there for the crazy. He was there for the aftermath and the cleanup. So he doesn't know the scale of how much she went off the
yeah,
rails.
off the rails to get to where she was at.
All you know is probably they cleaned up and then she gave him some fucking.
Well, and he knows that he
dookie.
survived a fucking war. He's seen some shit, and he came home to a woman that's going to understand what the fuck he went through and give him head.
I'm just saying.
And we also don't know what she told him about why there's all the dead bodies there either. She might have blamed everything on the projectionist.
Could have. There's a lot of, like I was telling my wife when the movie ended, I was like, well, that's ending on a crappy note. There's so much unambiguous ending right here. You can't really tell.
Well, yeah. And spoiler alert, the look on his face, I was like, oh, she's never going to fucking see Howard again. Like, the way it ended, I thought it was cool because it made it look like he was like, what the fuck is happening here?
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
all our options were spent.
Yeah, she was tied down to Howard at that point. She had to lay in with the one you know solution she had. I really think in my mind, I really think that she lied to Howard and spun it out. I mean, of course, over time, he obviously, maybe got the truth eventually. And, for whatever reason, like, I guess when his options dried up, he was too old. He started just giving into it because we get into X and he's clearly on board with the killing at that point. But I think the way that he looks and the way that he would have been at that time period, I think she might have lied and said, oh, well, this guy came in, he killed your sister. Because I don't see Howard forgiving the fact that his sister was killed. I really don't.
Yeah.
100%.
There had to have been a lie there somewhere. Either she, ditched, she did. She chopped her up and fed her to the gator. When it came about that Mitzi was missing, she had to have either said, oh, I think that this one guy, sketchy guy in town was the one that did it, or she just outright said, I don't know what happened to her. She was supposed to go on this big, dancing thing. And
Well, the family didn't even know about the dancing thing because that was a secret. They didn't know where Mitzi was.
There's so many, there's...
they probably just thought Mitzi ran away. She had clear... It was clear with Mitzi.
But the brother knows enough information where he oh, Mitzi's gone and this shit's going on here.
Yeah.
Come on, he would have put that together.
Hopefully.
You know what? The thing that I can't wrap my head around because it seems super logical that it would have happened. He would have got drafted for World War II.
Yeah, but he also could have gotten out.
He served in World War II. They say it next. He served in another war. Because it's mentioned he went to war twice when he's speaking to the black guy in that movie.
So so let's understand that. So chivalry went off the rails when he was gone for the first war, and she had the support of the family. So what happened the second time when he left for a couple years?
Probably still had the support of the family. They don't know what she did or didn't.
I know, but do you understand what I'm getting at? There's a huge section of okay, well, then what happened in this time period? If she went off the rails this bad without him there, then what would have happened the second time around without
Definitely
the family?
stuff happened. I mean, if you look in the second movie, moving into X, but not officially, there's another fucking car in the swamp. There's a fucking Volkswagen Beetle.
I understand
so
that.
There's more shit.
I'm just getting at the point, how much would... if she's that unstable, how could she have held it together when he left the second time?
She apparently did. She probably just kept up the same shenanigans. That's probably her MO.
The one thing that I think leads into your answer for that is when she tells Mitzi that one line, I've got to accept what I've, is in front of me. I think she was at the point she's like, I'm not going to be a star. So I'm just going to, this fucking farm is all I'm ever going to have. And, and she probably killed a bunch of animals and maybe people that came about, at the time to, ease her frustration. But I think she was just like, all right, I'm not going to be the star I wanted to be.
Yeah. Enough to the point that if they think that the county is there to visit, they're like, get off our fucking property.
I know, but I'm just saying without him there to hold her in check, I could see her repeating the first time around that happened.
Yeah, she probably did.
I know, but
there was probably a few vagrants that came through around that time that were missing.
Is she so hell bent on her dreams and it's so aggressive it plays all the way into the next movie? Then what would have happened when her husband left the second time? You're gonna tell me all the ambition's gone?
It is gone. That's the thing. That's what X is all about. She hates everybody else who has the ambition and is actually going to be able to do something with it. Because she gives up at the end of this movie. That's the whole point. She's done. She knows there's no chance at that point, and she becomes miserable. And that's the reason when she sees Maxine, she sees literally herself, because Maxine, Mia Goth, looks just like her. It's like she sees someone who, has got everything and is going to become the star she always wanted to be, because she had to give up on all that. She's at the point at the end of this movie where she has resigned herself, her dreams have died. And I think that's the reason I said that. I think that pig kind of represents that. It's just, it's crushed.
Something about human nature. If she was alone on that farm, I got a feeling she would have left. I don't know. It doesn't make enough sense for me where she would plant down after him leaving a second time.
I mean, I agree with that, but I don't think she had some smarts, but only in her craft, which was killing people, hiding bodies, things like that.
But she wasn't even good at that.
She had an alligator that helped her.
I know, but I think you guys are missing the scope. Dreams never die; they smolder in the background.
Yes, And we're not saying they never. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though. So I got a feeling the second time around she would have made a push again to try to.
I don't think she
that's
would
what
have.
I'm
I
saying.
think she had given
I don't
up.
think the dreams never died in the sense that they were completely gone, but she knew that she wasn't going to be able to actually get those dreams, and so she became resentful.
Yeah, I think she resorted to the fact
probably more murderous.
Yeah, I think she resorted to the fact that I can't make the cut, or I don't know how to make the cut. I want to, but I don't know how to, or I physically can't, or whatever. And just like, I'm just going to do this because I'm good at it, you know?
I don't know. That I can't follow that logic.
I can. I understand how easy it is for women to give up.
I know,
and
but
Howard's not there to push her to follow her dreams.
It's different to give up when there's responsibilities, but she's already proven that she doesn't manage a farm. She doesn't want to have kids. Without those certain pressures and anchors down to anchor you where you're at, you're going to go out and pursue stuff.
Apparently she's not.
And that doesn't make any sense from somebody that ambitious to just all of a sudden give up. I would understand she had a track record of not being dedicated to something she had to drive for, but she did. And just because it failed once, people usually just don't give up.
But she's crazy. She's not
which
running
means
on all
you
cylinders.
have more of a drive when you're crazy.
No, not always.
Yes, you do.
What about the crazy bums we see on the street? Do they have a drive to do what? Sleep on the fucking street?
That's different.
It's not different.
Yes, it is. You're comparing somebody who was probably grew up in the thing where you got to do shit and get stuff done. And even though her parents probably didn't push her in the right things to get done, bums aren't on that metric at all.
Well, no, we have a crazy one. We have one that is mentally not there.
All bums are like that. What are we talking about?
But I think she's just mentally not capable of what you're saying. Oh, the drive. She doesn't know. That doesn't.
You don't got to be mentally capable to have the drive to pursue stuff.
Well, she apparently couldn't do it. She couldn't cut it. Like, we're talking about a fictional character, and we're going way too deep into that.
We have to give context of how all characters mimic.
I believe it. I'm not.
Well, all characters mimic reality to a degree, and in that part, there's too much of a drop where she wouldn't continue to pursue this idea, especially given the opportunity when nobody was telling her no.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. The second time around, nobody would be telling her no.
I don't find it hard to
and
believe.
She'd be older. She'd have more knowledge.
Okay, great.
But that would be even worse because she would be older, and Hollywood's, for younger people.
It doesn't mean delusion doesn't carry on.
But it does mean that there would be nobody scouting for her at that point because she would be past.
So she would go out and pursue it. That's the point I'm going at is that by that time, by the time of 1912 to 1940, movies boomed. So it'd be more of a drive for her to want to get into that.
Well, even if they did, though, who's going to hire her, or even attempt to hire her at that point? She's way past her prime. Like the first time she shows up, they'd be like, out. Next,
But how many delusional people are older that still push and push? I could see it would make more sense to me that when her husband left the second time, she would leave and try to go to Hollywood.
Okay, so she specifically says in her monologues, multiple times actually, that she has accepted that there's something fucking wrong with her. She's aware of it. She's fucking aware that she's got a problem.
She's
and
crazy.
If she goes out, yes, there we go. You're getting it now. And she knows that if she goes out and tries and she fails, she's going to try to murder somebody.
But that's my
How likely
point.
is she going to get away with murder out there versus on her own
when
farm?
You're so crazy and delusional, that's irrelevant. You're going to push for what you want. That's the reason that she did all the stuff she did. Is because she, in her own mind, she's so delusional, she doesn't realize how reprehensible that stuff is.
Yeah, but she also realizes.
No, she doesn't. I'm making the point that when you're that crazy, you don't realize.
Well, she apparently is a self-aware crazy person because she knows what's up. She physically says it.
I'm just saying, if you take the assumption, let's make the assumption she did leave the farm while Harold's gone during World War II. She's out and she's and she goes out and she tries to make it big again. Like she's got like a second wave of I'm going to do this. Like I know what I messed up the first time.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have. I don't get from her character that she would have traveled straight to Hollywood without somebody around telling her, because she could have left at any moment in time in this movie. Yes, she was using her father and him as excuse, but she was relying on the projectionist to be the one to drag her away from her town. So
that's true.
Let me give an example then. Okay, you can jump on TikTok right now and see the amount of delusional women that think they're going to make it. And
instead of going out and doing something, they stay at home in front of the camera in the safety of their parents' house.
Because modern technology puts you in a position where you don't have to go out and pursue it.
Exactly.
But back then, that wasn't the option, so you had to. So if you can see on today in real world terms how delusional people get that aren't crazy in the head about what they're going to get and stuff like that. What happens when you're crazy and you get to ignore all the outliers telling you not to do it?
I'm not.
That's fine.
But what I'm saying is, let's just say that she left Texas, went all the way to Hollywood. There's plenty of years for that war. She gets out there. The farm goes to shit while she's gone. Might be explaining why it looks so bad whenever, we get to it next. And she and it just doesn't make it. She's like all those delusional, women from the Midwest that, maybe are a 8 or a 9, in their Midwestern town, get out to Hollywood, maybe a 5 at best, and they can't break into anything. So they're like waitressing, they're doing this, that, or the other. She's just like, at some point she's got to accept, I'm not going to make it,
Yeah.
It's a young woman's game. I'm past my prime. I missed my, one shot, and that makes it even worse when she comes back to the farm because now she's very bitter about the whole entire thing.
And that would be awesome if they had made a movie in the middle that broke that part down. Because you could almost make a middle movie because now there's enough information to really to round out her story arc all the way.
You know what the funny thing is? Maxine's all about Maxine going to Hollywood.
Oh.
It really is. It's set in the 80s, and she's a big porn star out in Hollywood at this point.
She's clearly a reincarnation of fucking Pearl, so...
But that's my whole point, is dreams don't die, they smolder, and under the right conditions, they'll reignite.
Well, in this case, they reignited in Maxine.
I know, but I'm just saying there's a huge
Okay, well,
plot.
we can't just keep sticking to this. We kind of got to move forward on the podcast.
I just find it an interesting topic.
Okay.
But I do agree there's a chance that could have happened, but but at some point she came back to the farm because she realized that it's not going to work out for her whatsoever.
Yeah.
Even if, Harold was gone, we wasn't there to restrain her. I agree with that portion of it at least. Music wise, I like the music in this. It harkens back to the old, movies that it's supposed to be representing. You got that orchestra, big sweeping, music or whatever. It fits the time period they're trying to make it into. I like this is a visual thing too, the little swipes they do, like whenever they show like the Pearl, name across the screen and it swipes away. That's like an old timey thing. They don't do that anymore. It usually just disappears. This one it wipes from one side to the other, so
the music was pretty much the music that's playing in her head 24/7.
Yeah, it's because she's living in a big Hollywood production.
Yeah.
Which probably explains why the movie looks the way it does too. It's from her perspective. So I mean, everything's all bright and shiny, even though it's literally. I mean, maybe the pig was like the only thing from the real world that was filtering through. At that point, the rot. Anything else we want to cover before we get in the trivia on this one?
No, because at the end, I'm pretty sure we'll give our final thoughts and everything.
Yeah, okay. So Pearl's climactic monologue goes for 7 minutes, 57 seconds, consists of 17 shots, and the last shot goes for 5 minutes and 36 seconds.
Jesus, and she would not shut the fuck up.
I know. Talk about beating a dead horse. I was like, oh my God.
And the grace that Mitzi showed... that's good acting right there too, because she held her grace. I think she showed it so well when she could have just been like, I gotta fucking go.
Well, that and the look. It's the look she gives whenever it actually cuts back to her and she's just like, okay, I gotta leave.
Yeah.
That's fine. I won't tell anybody that this is fine. I'm just getting out of here,
She had a good poker face, I thought.
I don't know why the moment she got up and got to the door, the shoes didn't come off and she didn't fucking full on sprint. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I mean, back then, say what you want, people were more used to violence back then. So you'd have more of a triggering response, in my opinion. And for her to be nonchalant about the craziness she just ran across, that didn't make any sense to me.
I think she thought she could get out of it by playing the nice person. Mitzi had no fight or flight.
And here's the one thing I'll argue in both defense and argument against what you're saying there. I agree entirely with what you're saying, Noah. But I think at first she's playing the slow walk because she knew the minute she started to give a little bit of inference to Pearl that she was not accepting anything she said as being what a sane person would say. That was the moment Pearl was going to freak out and come after her. So she was trying at first. The first part of it was her trying to slow walk out of there so that it looked like she was fine with everything that was just said. The minute that Pearl got the axe, I don't know why she didn't start running. Sprint.
That was that.
But if you just think about the 1912s, I mean, the propensity to violence for the average person was through the roof. So you've seen violence way more than the average person did by today's standards.
Did Mitzi though? Like Mitzi grew up
She's
privileged.
kind of sheltered. Yeah.
Even then, back then when you were sheltered, when you went to school, did they not beat your ass at school?
Mitzi was probably homeschooled. Yeah, that was a thing, Noah.
I understand that. But I got a feeling, okay, anyways, I'll leave that opinion to myself then.
The only thing that I can think of, and that's the reason I agree with Llareyna about this, is that I feel like the most of the violence that somebody in her position would have seen on a regular basis would have been like maybe the slaughtering of hogs or something like that on the farm.
Yeah.
But even then, if she was rich enough, she was removed from it. They had farmhands that were doing all that stuff for them.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Not only that, but my big thing is I got a feeling that if you grew up in the rural area like that, I got a feeling your parents probably beat your ass.
They probably did to a certain extent because spoil the
if
spare
those
the rod,
parents
spoil
raised
the
the
child,
kids.
But back in the 1912s, I got a feeling it's not like she was rich from a rich city. She's still rural with money, but I got a feeling her parents didn't put up with that shit back then. I don't know.
But
maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Also being rural like that and removed from that sort of thing, how often would they, like now we've got TV and we've got plenty of documentaries on Netflix about serial killers. Like, how would they have known much about that sort of thing back then? Like, it was even, I mean, like, you look at H.H. Holmes and that son of a bitch got away with that for years because everybody was like, what the fuck's this? Or we've never heard of somebody who ritualistically just keeps killing one person after the next, Like, that's kind of, I mean, they didn't have they had the movies there, but Mitzi never even struck me as somebody who even got out and went to the movies because that was Pearl's thing.
The moving pictures.
Yeah.
I got a question about Mitzi for both of you. Do you think she won the role?
Yes.
Yeah, she won it. She didn't want to tell Pearl because Pearl kept saying, I have to get this.
Yes, and they wanted an all-American blonde girl.
Well, I got a feeling, too, Mitzi went to the movie theaters as much as Pearl. If Mitzi was that hardcore into the dance thing, too.
Yeah.
And TVs weren't a thing.
That's the thing, though, that they don't really, I mean, I could see that, but in the movie, they almost play it like, and the reason Pearl was so bitter about it is that Mitzi kind of stumbled into it. Like, Mitzi didn't really care about any of that stuff. She's just like, oh, I'll try out this new thing, it's, and like, because of her looks and she didn't have the prep work. She didn't have the desire for it. She didn't, like go to the movies as much as Pearl. She just kind of stumbled into it. Whereas Pearl like spent her life dreaming about this stuff and like nothing just because she had the wrong look about her, and that's very Hollywood. I mean, that sort of shit happens. It's like, I don't know how many times we said this in the trivia of these shows where like the boyfriend of like whoever's going for a certain role will like show up on the set, and just because he or even the girlfriend, depending upon the mixture, has a certain look that they're looking for, whenever the casting director, they're like, I want that person. Like, and they wasn't even trying out for the fucking role. They just happened to be there with their spouse or their, boyfriend or girlfriend that day. Like, they're not even like there for the job. They just get it because of purely superficial looks,
I disagree. I think Mitzi didn't get the role. I think that because they made it look like she's supposed to get it. She's the all-American girl. And I think that no matter what Mitzi would have said, Pearl was going to think she got it because of what they told her. And she tells Mitzi, and Mitzi's like, but I didn't. And then it gets to the point where Mitzi's kind of bearing down a little more. Like, she's putting her foot down, like, I didn't. And then she switches up to, oh, yeah, I got it. And I hope you can come to one of the shows. Like, now she's like, if I don't fucking start playing this part, she's going to fucking kill me. I better just fucking say what she wants.
I think she didn't want to rub it in her face because she.
Oh, I agree. I wouldn't have wanted to rub it in her face either.
I know, but Mitzi was humble about stuff.
She was.
Yeah. She was. Yeah.
No. I agree with that. It's funny, but I genuinely didn't think that she had gotten it, and fucking Pearl's like, you got it. Like, you know, and she's like, okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you're right. It was me.
I could see it both ways. I mean, she could be doing it to appease Pearl because somebody had to have got it out of the two of them. But at the same time, I agree with Noah. To me, it seemed more like Mitzi was trying to be humble. She knew Pearl was hurt about it.
Oh, yeah.
And she was
and she knew Pearl was batshit crazy at this point, too.
Well, even before the batshit crazy, she was holding it from Pearl because she knew it was a sore topic.
Oh, yeah. You know? Well, fucking, how could she tell? Pearl out in the back fucking screaming her fucking head off? Probably could hear the screaming the entire time she was winning that role. The
realization of killing her parents made no change in the outcome. Sunk in.
Shit. But, yeah. It's interesting to think about. There's a lot of ways you could play that, depending upon how you view it in the movie.
Pearl's going to be so lonely in the bath now without her dad watching her.
Do we want to discuss this since you keep bringing it up? I mean, it is kind of creepy. I mean, it's really weird. Like, I mean, it probably wasn't back in the day, but like at the same time, like she made it a point, like she wouldn't even turn her dad in the other direction.
No. And even the mom came out, almost every time to pull the dad away?
Yeah, she was like, you shouldn't be doing this. Why are you in here? And Pearl was like, I just wanted to get in here because the water was still hot.
Yeah.
Or still warm.
Yeah, even the mom was like, what the fuck is happening here?
It's like, remove your daddy from the situation, get him out of here, you know?
Yeah. Ugh. Anyways.
Tandy Wright, who plays Pearl's mother, was the intimacy director on X. So the woman was basically the one making sure that the sex scenes were okay between the actors and actresses on X, and was offered the role of Ruth as the shoot on the first film was wrapping up. According to Ty West, she learned German for the role in a hurry and became so convincing in her accent that she fooled 2 German members of the crew.
Wow.
With how good it was.
Or were they German like Noah, or were they German like German?
The way it insinuated, it was like they were German.
Because
like
Noah does a good German accent, but I think he could have been fooled that this lady was German. What did you think, babe? Did you think she was the real deal, or did you think she was just acting?
I thought she was acting. I mean,
yeah, anybody can act and have a good accent, but I thought she was German.
Well, that's the whole idea of an actor, is to convince you of who they are. That's why when actors say stuff on TV, I was like, he's lying.
I think the actress actually has like a British accent, which Mia Goth has one too. Like if you ever hear her talking, her accent's very like squeaky, like, you know, very shy British, you know, accents. What Mia Goth has.
You know what?
She speaks.
Here's a question for that, because you know what doesn't make sense to me is how many British actors do American roles?
Quite a bit.
How many American actors do British roles?
Hardly any, because the British in their movies specifically only cast the same like 15 British actors, and they don't allow anybody from outside to come in and do any of the roles.
But I got a feeling that the British actors would be offended if American pretended to be British, but yet there's tons of British actors that pretend to be Americans.
There's so many of them. If you look at, and they're usually Southern roles too that they're getting. Like, it's always like a Southern accent that a lot of these
Star Wars
British
movie.
Actors.
Think of John, what's his name? Boya?
Oh, Boyega. Yeah.
I mean, he's British. He nailed the human, the English version. Or the American.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like in a lot of the media that I've seen, they usually, because like Daniel Craig, like he's like, it's usually Southern roles that he's like, you know, the characters that he's played like since he's started like doing his, you know, American accent, as it were.
But it's weird. I got a feeling that the British public wouldn't accept it well if an American pretended to be British. It almost says a lot about their culture to a degree too.
It does, and actually, there's they've went on record several times. I don't know if that says anything about us, that we're too forgiving or we're too naive. Like when we hear like, British actors, unless it's very egregious, like, when they're doing like Appalachian accents, it's always bad because they can never get them right. But like they can get the Deep South okay for the most part. But like whenever they're just doing a standard like American accent, they sound well enough. Nobody cares. But the minute that an American actor starts doing a British accent movie, if you get on any kind of forums, like the Brits are always throwing a fit. It's like that's not the accent they would have had.
That's not what we sound like. That's what you sound like to us.
Yeah, it's like the one particular part of like Britain that person's supposed to be from. It's like, nope, they wouldn't have that accent. It's because there's so many like little minor accents they have in their country that they're very hypercritical. We have a
so
bunch
does
of
the U.S. The U.S. has, I think, a more diverse amount of different accents because it changes from state to state, and there's 50.
I agree with you, but like there's a standard like Midwestern accent that is like used by so many people that we just give it a pass.
Well,
on a lot of
there's one in particular I'm thinking, like, remember when Brad Pitt played in Snitch?
The Dags.
Yeah, but he caught so much shit for him doing that accent. He caught a ton of shit.
What about Johnny Depp? Did Johnny Depp have a British accent? And
Johnny Depp is weird. He's ambiguous as fuck. I can't tell if he's natural European or American.
No, he's from Kentucky, of all things, from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
He's got the most like milquetoast, like Midwestern accent, like, or used to, and like I don't know what happened to him. He pulled the Madonna thing where he spent years in Europe, and now he speaks with a British accent. I don't understand it. I don't know, but he's not from Europe, but he speaks with a British accent now for some reason.
I think that's a.
Well, didn't he? He had a wife that was from there, wasn't she?
I think French, maybe. Like,
oh, okay.
Like,
I thought they lived out there, though. That's
French
probably
sounds more like Johnny Depp. Something about UK doesn't sound like Johnny Depp material, but a French whore, like that sounds like it's right up.
Oh my god!
Especially this is back in the day when he was trashing hotel rooms and going on coke benders. That seems more in line with like a French woman for some reason in my head.
I don't. He's the weirdest person. Like, I don't understand where he gets that accent from, and it's. It's funny. George Clooney's from the same part of Kentucky. Originally born, and I don't know if you all. I'm sure you've seen it. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh, hell
like
yeah. Love that movie.
The accent he uses in that movie is very good. But he said that he actually had to go back to his uncle who was living in Kentucky and listen to him long enough to pick the accent back up to be able to do it.
Oh my
in
god,
the
that's
movie.
hella funny. Hey, uncle, you want to spend some time with me? You want to?
I just don't. But I don't know where Johnny Depp. It was around the time that he was hanging out with Hunter S. Thompson that he started affecting this British accent. And Hunter S. Thompson never spoke with an accent like that. Hunter S. Thompson, lived in Louisville for most of his life, and that's where he died at. So I don't know. I don't get it.
He's just method acting every day.
Yeah, basically,
Oh
he
my
walks out
God.
there, he puts on this accent, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're so cultured, Johnny Depp." Ty West and Mia Goth collaborated on the script via FaceTime during a mandatory 2-week quarantine due to the COVID-19 pandemic in New Zealand prior to filming X. They had only hoped A24 would agree to make the film. Fortunately, the project was greenlit before filming began on X, so Pearl was greenlit before X ever even started filming.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's pretty crazy. According to Ty West, the homeowners of the house that the film set in enjoyed the makeover of the house and barn that production gave them so much that they presumably have not changed it.
Which makeover? The pretty makeover?
No,
Or-
it looked like it did an X. That's how it started. That's what it looked like whenever they got there.
Uh-huh.
They made it to look like Pearl after that.
Okay.
And then they were going to change it back, and then like the family got there and they're like, no, leave this. This is nice.
Okay. That's so funny.
Free work on their house.
Yeah.
Yeah, who wouldn't accept that? That's way better. According to Ty West, I read that the pornographic film shown to Pearl is a free ride from 1915, a real vintage stag film. So that wasn't made up for the movie. That was actually a real porn film from 1915.
Well, technically, it's not the correct year because the movie took place in 1912, and how was the movie made in 1915?
Oh, God.
and it was
No,
played?
it takes place in 1918.
Oh,
I thought it was
Flu came
1912.
around.
Okay, my
Yeah.
bad. That makes more sense now. It's chronologically correct.
The film's production is the subject of some debate. It surfaced in the 1970s. It was at one point sold by a shady distributor as a hardcore D.W. Griffith from 1915, while silent film historian Kevin Brownlow has posited that it was made in the early 1920s. So it could be technically a movie that came after when Pearl should have been made, but whatever. It looks old enough. We'll go with it. I mean,
I was watching it and I was thinking, it made me think of the comedian that was like, sex must have stunk so bad back in the day because they are literally rolling in the dirt. Like one lady pushes over the lady, her fucking bush rolls over into the fucking dirt. She's laying bush down in the fucking dirt, in the bush, literally. And then the dude goes and starts doggy styling her. And I'm thinking,
How about this? When was indoor plumbing popularized?
it was way after all this stuff. I mean, you're talking at least 1920s plus after that, I think, before it really started catching on. And it didn't even really catch on in rural America until like 1980s.
So if her family's broke.
1840s.
Yeah. 1840s?
Yes.
Yeah, but that was probably in major cities.
In 1940, nearly half of the houses lacked hot pipe water. So, okay, later.
But I'm making the point, though, if her family's already on hard times, and we don't know how long the hard times have been for her, how in the hell do they have that tub that big upstairs?
With hot water.
Well, the hot water could have been a situation where they heated it and like brought it in there, and because that's what they did. Even like here, I mean, my grandparents didn't have running water for whenever I was a kid.
But I'm just making the point, though. Wouldn't it be more reasonable to think that the tub was downstairs?
Yeah, that does. So I guess what they did back in the day is there was allegedly like stoves of sorts where they could heat water right there on the spot in the bathtub.
That or they would have like they would have a fireplace basically in the same room as the, if you were richer,
I agree with Noah, though. It doesn't make sense where the tub is at and not something to get to.
But they don't have a man around the house. So who's tregging the water up there? She is?
Well, no, they still have cold water. They had running water. It's just running water wasn't.
But didn't she make the comment, too? She said, I wanted to use up the warm water.
Yeah, but you still had to fill up like half with cold water.
So if he's been at a commission, her mom's doing all the work around the house. She's not really doing shit. Do you really think she's heating up water?
I'm thinking she's heating it up in the bathroom, but they don't show everything. So.
How?
Water from the tub.
I'm just saying, if she's not pulling her fucking weight around the house, this kind of gets a little
Mom
weird.
probably fucking did it all because then she bathed her dad and was like, oh, I want to jump in the hot water with my dad watching.
I would say in that situation, that might be the one thing that Pearl actually did. Like her mom heated the water, but then like Pearl was like, okay, I'll take it up there because Pearl got a hot bath out of it.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Like that,
How about this? When was that house built that was in that movie? Ew. I'm kind of curious what that is. Because I got a feeling it's more modern than what the movie.
That probably is. Yeah,
more modern. Yeah, they didn't like really focus on the design of it because I don't imagine like a house that looked like that was built back in that time period. They would have been probably closer to like a ranch style house or something if they were building like more one floor but like spread out as opposed to like two stories back in that day.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it like you're kind of a poorer family. The house is huge, and you have indoor plumbing.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know if they ever specified they had indoor plumbing. Like, I don't know if she was having to, because I don't know if did they ever show the water being run out of the sink? I don't remember.
I thought they did.
I thought they did. Yeah. Because she had to. No, wait. Maybe this was the second film.
You might be thinking about X because they had lots of amenities in X. That were modern.
I don't know. I also now if you're gonna talk about that, when was the house built, blah blah, what kind of stuff, that was a really 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 big house for a poor family to own. And,
it was, yes.
And I know that, and there's no telling, we don't know anything about the family, so we really can't go back and be like, maybe they became poor farmers because they migrated, they probably had money to do it, they got lucky with this house, and then maybe hard times hit. Well, especially hard times hit after the dad wasn't able to do his fucking, what he's supposed to do. Be a man.
I can't hear that with thing. Those TikToks.
Yeah, be
There
a
was one-
man.
There's this tangent, but I heard one recently. It was great. It was like if you want to take a nap while you're at work, sleep at the bottom of a ladder, and then whenever your foreman comes in, tell them that you fell earlier.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Be a man. So yeah, I mean, they probably were okay. They probably worked their asses off to be in America, get that house, and then fucking the dad decided to be a bum. And
I'm just saying, to me, it would have made more sense after a year of them taking care of their dad. They would have started washing him downstairs.
oh yeah, fuck, dude.
Oh
But-
yeah, they would have. It would have made way more sense that they would have had like if nothing else, had him like just what poor families had back in the day, just like a metal wash tub that they set in the floor, because
Correct.
that's what my grandparents literally had to wash in.
Burned his
Was a metal
ass
wash
with
tub.
fucking too much hot water on it.
Just give him some morphine.
Ugh.
Let's see. Pearl's alligator is named Theta after Theta Bara, who was an American silent
Oh,
film actress and one
yeah.
of cinema's earliest sex symbols.
And there's not a
Uh,
lot of fucking like video proof anymore of her. Like all her shit got burned. Most of it, anyways.
Burned her ass in a metal wash tub. Viewers may notice a poster of Theta Bara and is displayed on the exterior of the picture house that Pearl regularly frequents. So there you go. That's where the Theta came from.
Theta Bara. She was the image that is on the Lumineers album for Ophelia. Which I was like, I feel like I recognize this woman. And then someone did a podcast on her and her fucking naughty girl ways, which, by the way, she claims to be like an Egyptian type actress. She's a fucking white girl.
Egyptian as fuck. Who's the girl that played Cleopatra?
Elizabeth.
With who was it? With Charleston Heston, I think.
Oh shit.
It's right here. Where the fuck?
That was back when you can just be an actor and everybody.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of that, though, Egyptians do say that Cleopatra had way more Greek, blood in her than like she did any kind of Saharan African or anything like that.
And they
So,
probably liked her lighter skin.
just saying.
The heart wants what it wants.
Really.
Because that was a whole thing that came out recently. Jada Pinkett Smith did that Netflix, or she was producer on that Netflix series, or Cleopatra, and like it caused this big stink. Like a lot of Egyptians were like boycotting it and threatening to sue Netflix because they said it was a gross misrepresentation of the character or the actual person, because they depicted her as being like this Nubian princess, and they said that is not what Cleopatra was. She was very white, and they were they were ready to sue over it. Like it was a big thing.
Yeah. Cleopatra was in some spirit chucking moon cricket. What are you doing?
How cute, Theta.
This movie was secretly filmed simultaneously with X. Pearl serves as the film's prequel, showing the title character's early life in 1918, decades before the events of X, which took place in 1979. To prepare for the tone of this movie, director and co-writer Ty West suggested that Mia Goth watch Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and The Wizard of Oz as the inspirations.
Makes
I
sense.
can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raina was saying that. Raina was saying it last night when we were watching it. She's like, it has a lot of like Wizard of Oz undertone type things, riding the bike and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. The Whatever Happened to Baby Jane's not as obvious, but whenever you realize like the relationship between Ruth and Pearl, it makes a lot of sense. Originally meant to be filmed in black and white, A24 were against it, so it was made in extremely vivid color. Mia Goth claims another reason for the switch from black and white to bright colors was that the team felt like films being made and that way had become its own thing, and she and Ty West wanted to do something different, meaning that there's a lot more black and white movies now than there used to be for,
Yeah.
And so they wanted to stand out, so they went to Technicolor, to make it look a little bit different. First screenwriting and producing credits for lead actress Mia Goth.
And she likes, I was telling Noah, she likes to put herself in films that involve her being nude and performing all kinds of sexual activities.
Because she's a whore.
Tell me about it. I know she broke up the marriage, or Shia LaBeouf was engaged to this chick before he met Mia Goth, and they were on that film Nymphomaniac, and allegedly on that film they were actually having sex.
She sucked the soul out of him.
Yeah, and like I think in a way, now his fucking fiance was devastated at the time. Like she was out and fucking like they got into a huge fight over it in public. There's all kinds of fucking pictures of it. She was fucking devastated over this film because she knew he was like, "Oh, I'm not cheating on you. I'm having sex with her for the film.
I'm making art."
Exactly. And I think in a way,
on, it's different.
Mia Goth saved that poor girl from a lifetime of dealing with the weirdness of Shia LaBeouf. Like, they deserve each other. They're both fucking weird. They're both fucking psycho. And if it works for them, go ahead. But that girl, I don't think she could have handled what kind of a weirdo fucking Shia LaBeouf is.
It's funny because you are right. Infinity Pool, like there's big long scenes of her just fucking like in dudes, ladies, like big orgy scenes all throughout that movie, and it's just like, all right, if that's what you're into. I'm going to give a shout out to Cody. Like he mentioned to me one time, and it stuck with me that he heard that Mia Goth sold her eyebrows to the devil, and in order to become famous.
Oh, she has no fucking eyebrows. It's so weird.
A teaser for the sequel to X was shown at the end credits in some territories, for the movie Maxine. That's MAXXXINE.
Oh God.
The sequel will be set in the 80s. They did a similar thing in X. That'll be in the trivia too, but
yeah,
they set up Pearl by doing the same thing. The screenplay spawned from Mia Goth and Ty West doing character prep for the older version of Pearl seen in X, which had become a full-length script at that point. So basically they were going over Pearl, like her motivation, and then they were talking about it, and it's like, well, there's more of a story here. And then like he handed that over to her, and he basically said, what do you think Pearl would, been like? And it's kind of out of her mind, like all that stuff came from.
Yeah.
Let's see. The production team had around, and of course this movie, the prequel was at the end of X, and I remember seeing, in our showings of the movie X and Pearl, we saw the teaser trailers for the other movies that's in the trilogy. The production team had around 50 swatches of red in order to get the bright color of the barn perfect. That's a lot of just going through colors. Due to various bootleg clips of the film surfacing online, A24 had taken it upon themselves to simply post these short clips on their TikTok account, most notably Pearl's argument with the projectionist and Pearl wailing, "I'm a star," upon rejection at the audition. So there you go. That's the reason it was on TikTok. It was just being bootlegged so much. They're like, all right, here you go. Online fans of the film often lovingly call it Joker for girls because of how many of the female fans find Pearl relatable. Similarly to how male fans of the 2019 film relate to the titular character in the Joker movie.
Okay.
It's kind of bad if you relate to these characters.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. There are several callbacks to the first film X. 2 were in the audition scene where, like I said, she stands on the X, and then they say that they're looking somebody with X Factor, which is how Wayne described Maxine in X on more than one occasion. Finally, when the projectionist was explaining the stag film industry to Pearl, he said that he planned on capitalizing early, which was a theme discussed in X between Wayne and RJ several times. Something I didn't bring up a while ago that just now reminded me. Do you think there's any relation between the fact that or this means anything that Wayne was killed with a pitchfork in the barn, and the projectionist pissed Maxine off and she got the pitchfork and killed him? Like, I don't know if there's any link there, but I don't know. It's like, I wonder if she was like sexually aroused by Wayne, and like it was like she was doing to him what she did to projectionists like years later. I don't know if that's, if there's any link there.
Maybe. And technically, if they have similarities in their characters, only decades apart, it's kind of cool.
That's true. They're basically both wanting to get in the porn industry, so there's that link too between them.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of interesting.
It's art.
As long
with
as
the
we're
release
recording.
With the release of the first publicity poster, it was announced that West would once again serve as film editor alongside his other production roles, that Elliot Rocket would return as cinematographer, and that Tyler Bates and Tim Williams would serve as co-composers of the film's score. Pearl's deranged smile that carries on through the end credits was unplanned, with Ty West refusing to call cut and let the emotions play out. Mia Goth's smile becomes more strained, a tear falls down her face, and she even does an impatient head shake as she waits for him to call cut. This lasts for 1 minute and 51 seconds.
No,
her
thank you.
holding that face.
Cheese.
Uncomfortably long.
Pearl's dress and bike resemble that of Miss Elmira Gulch from The Wizard of Oz when she
Yep.
sneaks out to the movie house. Pearl tends to hush those she kills, as she did with Mitzi, and the Scarecrow, who she saw as a projectionist and ultimately killed. In X, this is mirrored when Maxine hushes Pearl just before running over her head with a pickup truck,
Yeah.
linking the two characters together. Death Holler Awards. Final girl, there isn't one. This is all about the killer, folks.
I would argue and say that the alligator Theta is a final girl.
She's best side character, ma'am. She's
Okay.
not a final girl.
All right.
What about Pearl as a slasher? I feel like you get more of the slashing stuff in the new movie, but like you do get it with the axe at the end at least.
She's
And
decent. I mean, the
pitchfork.
pitchfork, yeah. I'm trying to think what else. The taking out her mom's fucking flames with boiling hot water. That was top notch. That was chef's kiss.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And she's not the only slasher in the movies to basically hold something over somebody's head and smother them to death, because I mean that goes all the way back to Black Christmas and how
Yeah.
the first character dies in that movie.
Exactly. So, pretty decent.
Best kill to me, it's the axe to the sister-in-law, just because we also get the fun scene where her parts are being chopped up and thrown to Theta.
Yep.
But I will say that the hot corn water being thrown onto to her mother is right up there.
Yeah.
Best scream, I don't know, Pearl, I guess. Like there's not a lot of screaming in this,
I'm
and it's not really a
married!
scream. Yeah, it's that kind of scream. It's
Yeah.
not like of being scared. And
Didn't-
Mitzi doesn't even scream.
Doesn't her mom scream, I thought? When she catches her on fire and throws the water on her?
She kind of,
Yeah.
she kind of does, I think. So yeah,
It happened
could
so
go to her.
fast though. Like she literally started with a little flame on the back of her dress, and then like literally a second later, her entire dress is on fire, which is accurate because back in the day they didn't have the materials that were like specifically like
Retardant.
Yeah.
Flame retardant. Yeah.
So they fucking literally went up in flames like that, and this woman's got to be covered in oil and soot and everything from fucking working on the farm.
Yeah, I didn't see her take one bath.
Ugh.
She's out chopping wood.
She
What
didn't
the
have.
fuck?
She didn't have to have sex, so she didn't have to worry about what that fine vagina smelled like.
That goes back to a previous conversation you all were having. Do you know how nasty it would have been to be in a brothel back in the days,
Ugh.
like when they didn't take baths and
Wash
you were
the
like
sheets
the
regularly.
fourth or fifth guy who had been hopping on this thing, this woman.
Like, the sheets had to just, they weren't spending money on housekeeping,
Oh
man.
no, not at all.
You walk in,
All
it
kinds
just-
of VD. Hey, you didn't have to lube up though, because the previous guy's semen was in there, so you know.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was just oozing out.
Ugh.
And the best scream is not going to be in this movie anyways.
Yeah.
The best scream I have heard in a movie that we've covered this season is in X, and we'll get to that when we cover that movie. Best boobs. Does anybody show? I mean, Mia Goth shows her tits in X, but I don't
No.
know. I don't think Pearl does in this one.
I had mentioned to Noah that Mitzi was not dressed properly for the times because she had cleavage showing. That was not, even for rich girls, that was not a thing.
That is true. That is true.
So she had the cleave showing. So that's the best we're going to get of the boobs.
I mean, you can kind of see some side boob from Pearl when she's in the tub, but that's about it.
Yeah. Other than that, it's the cow that Mia's fucking milking. So
Best monologue. What do you think? Is it Ruth or is it Pearl? Because they both have long monologues in this movie.
Pearl's got too long. It was like too long, didn't read. So I'm going to go with Ruth.
Yeah, somebody should have played the wrap it up box.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
I'm gonna be to the center. I'm gonna say Pearl's, because it's just, I mean, it's what everybody talked about when this movie came out, was
Yeah.
that long monologue at the end of
It
it.
definitely, well, okay, so it tells who she is, and granted in a monotone way, and that's totally fine. It's powerful, but I really feel like the emotion came through on Ruth.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Ruth was way more passionate about it, but that also speaks to Pearl too. It's like she's reciting all this terrible shit that she feels,
Yeah.
but she's totally disconnected from it emotionally, which is what a serial killer would be like.
Yeah.
Best side character, Theta.
Certified good girl. When bad animals actually only are, and she wasn't bad.
She was just doing what she was told.
Yeah, she's a certified good girl. She was an opportunistic hunter, meaning only when, it's presented to her, and that's how it was. It wasn't just usually wasn't an accident except for an ex, but whatever.
How much of a betrayal was it, though, that Pearl took one of her babies and just crushed her up for no reason?
Yeah, that was
kind of shitty.
Like, why? How are you going to play me like that,
Because she's a crazy person.
I'm giving the Franklin Award just because I can to the Scarecrow. Fuck that Scarecrow.
Now, the Franklin Award, if you haven't been following the podcast, babe, is Franklin from Texas Chainsaw, the slowpoke in the wheelchair, the annoying ass. It's basically So
you got to get, if we got to have somebody annoying in the movie, I mean, you don't want to pick the main character, which I could see somebody making the argument that Pearl could be annoying. But I'm just saying, I just want to give it to the Scarecrow just because you got to, that Scarecrow. I mean, he needs an award of some kind, and I don't know. I guess you could say best dildo, because that's kind of what he was. But
see, the thing is, I didn't see Pearl as annoying. I just saw her as ambitious as fuck. She was trying to seize the opportunity, and everybody that got in her way got pushed down.
I don't feel like she was annoying. I'm just saying I could see some people making that comment. Like,
I felt like she was annoying, 100%.
She just felt like a normal woman to me.
But how annoying is the Doom Prophet? The Doom Prophet's Ruth. She's the only person that recognizes the danger of Pearl.
Yeah, she's a bit much.
She could be, but like she's got reasons to be.
She
the way
does.
She is.
She does. She is going through some shit. That's got to be so fucking hard. No support whatsoever.
Daughters
and even
spending money they don't have, drinking her dad's medicine, taking off and going watching movies.
At that point, why are you keeping her around then?
Because you need that.
If she needs the help, the daughter's not helping.
I know, but even then.
She does go out on occasion, and help with the animals in the barn. That's about it. That's true.
And the mom doesn't want to go into town, so she does have to use her for that.
Not that, but it's as a parent, you don't want to see your kids. Like, if you understand your kids are self-destructive, you want to try to fucking get in front of it a little bit.
Well, and that goes back to, that's perfect you said that, because that goes back to what you already said, Llareyna, that one reason Ruth is the one person who sees the danger inherent in Pearl. She's trying to keep her around because, she don't want her that crazy to get out and hurt other people.
At what point do you have to worry about your life, though?
It's different back then. Back then, there wasn't all these options that you have now.
Yeah.
With everything. Back then, it's like money didn't go far. You didn't get a whole lot of it, and food was expensive, so you had to make do with what you had. Which
reminds me, how were they making money?
I think they were selling their agricultural that they had.
Okay.
Yeah, what little bit they had. Also, there's something in the movie that's mentioned by Ruth herself. She's afraid of Pearl's craziness getting out there and ruining what little reputation they're one step removed, like you said, from the pitchforks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she knows that if Pearl's like crazy starts, getting out there, then that's going to bring the whole town down on them, because nobody wants them around anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, dumbest moment. I've already said it. For me, it's Pearl forgetting that she just told projectionists that they had a dog, and then that's whenever he's like, "Oh fuck, you're crazy. I'm out."
Yeah, that was funny. That was a real good switch up for him. Like, immediate off.
I mean, I couldn't really think of another dumb moment because, I mean, in the sense that, like, Mitzi not running. I guess that's really dumb, but I mean, that's about the only other thing,
Mitzi, like I said, Mitzi didn't want to live. She was like, I'm telling you, she didn't win that role because she was like, fuck, this is my chance to get away from this boring ass family. Well, all we do is sit around all day, eat delicious food. I don't get to do anything. I don't get to go anywhere. This is going to be my chance to get away. And she didn't get it. And then she's like, you know what? I just want to fucking die.
I think you're reading people wrong. It's more the other way around. When you're in a shit position, you have to do all these things that you don't want to do, that you're more likely to be that ambitious. When everything's kind of kosher and you just get to skirt around, you don't ever have that pressure.
That's the other reason why I think Pearl hated Mitzi in that moment, because she knew that Mitzi didn't have the desire whatsoever to become a dancer. It was just something she was doing on a weekend.
And Mitzi also didn't have the desire to live because she didn't run.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode. Join us for the next one for X. With that, peace be with you.
And with your spirit.